What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the 4th level of hell and sent us down to the 7th level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. This what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was gonna, I thought Lil Murder was gonna turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. And you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. Get me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have some blue thong or blue jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy. Okay, I'm here. I was rushing. Listen, y'all, can I tell y'all how I just twisted my ankle trying to run and get something to drink and ran too fast and kind of twisted my ankle a little bit. It wasn't a real bad twist, but I feel it a little bit. It's throbbing a little bit. Nevertheless, we are here. Ooh, what is going on, y'all? Oh, Jesus, I'm just forgetting I got this stuff. I'm a mess right now, y'all. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I ain't put nothing in the members only chat. I'm over here tripping. I thought I had more time than I had. Girl. Oh. Girl, girl. I know you lying. I know you lying. I know these people are not trying to message me after 5 o'clock. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. And watch that be my boss or somebody stupid. Oh, it's not. It's not. Y'all kiss my whole ass. Let me shut this laptop down. I'm not playing with y'all. I don't have this type of energy. What's up, y'all? What is up? What is up? Welcome to Run Your Mouth. I am L Teddy 27, ready to give you the latest news of the day, giving you stuff that you should care about, trying to inform you of things that your legacy media is not informing you of. I'm trying to do the Lord's work over here. Okay. We are over here doing the Lord's work. Do you hear me? The Lord's work is being done over here. That's what we're doing. And we're going to do it here today with fervency and zeal. Okay. So we are here on this. I'm not going to tell y'all what they call Thursdays on my timeline. On one of my timeline, y'all want put a 27 in the chat if y'all want me to tell y'all what they call Thursdays on my timeline. Just know it's a lot of filth and debauchery. Let me say hey to y'all, and then we'll figure out if y'all want me to tell y'all what they call Thursdays on my timeline. Hey, Jeannie, what's going on, boo? Hey, Tracy W., how are you? Demetria, looking beautiful like always. We got Yana in the building. Uncle Jay is here. Hey, El Sid, how are you? Child, you was not late today. I was late today. I had a lot going on. Hey, Chef Don, what's going on, boo? Hey, Janae, Precious Jewel, how are you today? Hey, Diamond Pearl Gem, what's going on, DPG? Hey, Callie, good to see you. Tamara, my love, how are you? How are you, my love? We got Miss Shorty B in the building. We got Brittany Janae here. Everybody here on time. I'm the only one late. Okay. Teacher is here late. Hey, Shay. Hey, CC. Glad to have you back with us. I take it you enjoyed yourself yesterday because you came on back. We're glad to have you. What's going on? Hey, Lock Queen. Terrence, what's good, bruh? What is going on? Child Terrence said, listen, I got to go to work. I got time for all of this. I got to go to work. Listen, that's what the Isley brothers said, Terrence. Oh, I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got a job, babe. Oh, I got work to do. I got so much work to do. Yeah. Hey, Tawana, I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute, Tawana. You know we be missing you when you're not around these spots. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, Angela. Trying to do the plumber's work over here. Not you over there doing the plumber's work, child. Child. My mind went down a dirty place, Candace app. How you doing today, Candace app? Oh, so y'all want to know what they call Thursday? Okay. On my timeline, they call it hashtag. I'm gonna put it in the chat. That's what they call it in my timeline. They call it Thick Dick Thursdays. But y'all ain't hear that from me. I don't get involved in none of that stuff. I just look at what they start saying. I am as pure as the driven snow, okay? Not that Angela already knew, because she's a horror. A whore. A whore. Hey, Montrez, what's good, bruh? That's what they call it on my timeline. But you see who already knew. Hey, Universal Goddess Boo. Listen, you know who already knew. The horse. Child. Hey, Samira, what's going on? Girl, you see they cutting up already. Girl, they had you trapped in Jacksonville. You know I call Jacksonville Florida's armpit. I just do not like Jacksonville. Now, mind you, I got a few pieces of trade down to the Jacksonville. I do have that. A few pieces of trade down to the Jacksonville, but I don't really like Jacksonville. Look at here. Now look at this one right here. Look at this one right here. Oh, we know you knew Chef Don Don. Nah, don't keep it to yourself, Chef Don Don. You might as well go ahead and tell us now. Cham. Girl. I saw that I saw that, Demetria. I told y'all to try to get the hell out of Dodge before Tommy Tuberville goes over there. But yeah, y'all AG is running for Tommy Tuberville's Senate seat. Yeah, I saw that. Anyway, hey, crazy homebody girl. Crazy homebody girl. You see they already cutting up in here. Already cutting up. Cutting up. Cannot act right. Girl. So Really B told me she's going live late today. She said she's not going live till after 8 o'clock. So she says I could take as much time as I need today. So we don't have to rush. We can get through our whole dossier. Excuse me, and take our time today. That's what Really B told me. If y'all, speaking of the dossier, if y'all ready to get this party started, go ahead and put Shondo in the chat and let us know you ready to get this party started. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot. The dossier is packed. It is packed. We got a lot to talk about. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot to talk about. Like, girl. All right, it looks like y'all ready to get this party started, okay? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender-conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the late, great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major Sugar Spike.
So loved the world. I want to fight. That he gave. His only begotten son.
Major Sugar Spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major Sugar Spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus. Thank you, Larry. I'm telling y'all, listen, let me help y'all out. I'm telling you, you have not lived until you done went and took a good shower and with the acoustics just bust out like Larry. Oh God. If you ain't did that in the shower, you have not lived. Do it tonight. The people in your house gonna think you lost your mind. They're gonna think you have lost your entire mind. But I dare you tonight, when you get in the shower and that water get good and hot and the steam is going and the acoustics is all, is surrounding you, just break out into, oh, for God. If you ain't did it, you ain't lived. Child. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Chef Don Don. Yes, ma'am. Baby, you got to do that at least one time. Did I put in the members only? I ain't even put in the members only chat that I'm live. Y'all hold on. Shout out to the members who I have not yet told that I'm alive. Thank you, Angela. Angela put it on there. Put it in there for me. Thank you, Angela. You was thinking about me because I have forgot to put it in the members only chat. Thank you. Child, they be thinking about me. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate it. Child. Anyway, I done got sidetracked. Y'all, let me see. A couple of y'all came through here while Larry was out. Hey, Ravine. Hey, so Jeff. I saw you over there, your fellow members of the Beehive, down to the Beyonce concert. What was that, last night? Hmm. Y'all went last night. So jumped to the Beyonce concert. I saw your little pictures and shit. You and the fellow members of the Beehive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Child. Wait, what rumor with Elon, Stephen Miller, and his wife? I think I may have heard of it, but I just want y'all to confirm what I heard. What was the rumors? Let me make sure uh, I heard the right thing. Anyway, while they giving us the rumor mill, make sure y'all don't hit the like button. Make sure y'all have shared the video out on social media and all of the things. Let the people know we over here having a good ass time, so they can come on round here. Chicken, get your chicken here. Okay. Anyway, hey Tracy C, I'm so glad you are here. I feel like you be missing class too much lately. Okay. We love to have Tracy in the building. She's one of our head hall monitors. Anyway, so let me focus. So a second federal court, not one, but two federal courts now, has blocked the bulk of your president's tariffs. In a ruling, the court said he cannot claim unilateral authority to impose them by declaring emergencies over trade deficits and fentanyl. The ruling from U.S. District Judge Rudolph Contreras, an appointee of former President Obama, who serves in the nation's capital, comes hours after the U.S. Court of International Trade similarly blocked a series of Trump's tariff announcements. Excuse me. The administration quickly appealed both rulings. Since February, your president has attempted to impose tariffs by invoking the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, better known as the IEEPA. The law authorizes the president to impose necessary economic sanctions during an emergency to combat an quote unusual and extraordinary threat, end of quote. But a series of businesses and plaintiffs have argued the law doesn't authorize tariffs. Now, the court agreed with the plaintiffs and said that it is about quote it is about whether IEEPA enables the president to unilaterally impose, revoke, pause, reinstate, and adjust tariffs to reorder the global economy, end of quote, end of quote. And listen, most of the tariffs that are being that are in question here are the ones that were done on April 2nd when he brought out that big poster board you see right there. And and so yeah, they told him, yeah, bruh, nah, we ain't going for it. We're not going for it. Mm-hmm. 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 So now I did see that the informed that the U.S. Court of Appeals, since they had quickly Trump made sure to quickly appeal it, and the U.S. Court of Appeals has said that they will take up the case and they will temporarily pause any adjudications, or the effects, I should say, of the adjudications from the Court of International Trade. However, and I didn't get a chance to look deep into it, the inform. I don't know if that applies to this second federal court. From what I read, the U.S. Court of Appeals saying that that they will pause the adjudications of the Court of International Trade. From what I read, it affects that court. I don't know that it affects this second federal court. So yeah, there we go. So we'll keep you informed on that. Now, here's the Stephen Miller's wife is leaving the Trump administration to work with Elon, and allegedly they have been in between. I mean, both of them. One looks like the hairless version of my left nutsack. The other one looks like my right nutsack with hair still on it. Both of them ain't the cutest thing. I mean, Stephen Miller looks like Megamind. Let's be clear. Stephen Miller, who wouldn't leave him? Child, child, girl, child. Moving on. In more news, I'm just saying. In more news, girl. In more news of the Trump administration taking L's, I should say, a federal judge in Boston said she will issue a preliminary injunction to block the Trump administration's directive to strip Harvard University of its ability to admit international students. Judge Allison Burroughs issued the ruling from the bench after an emergency hearing on the administration's move, which upended the lives of the 27% of Harvard student body that is made up of foreign students. Quote, I want to maintain the status quo, end of quote, Judge Burroughs said from the bench. Harvard quickly sued the administration last week after the directive was given by the Department of Homeland Security, which also ordered current international students at Harvard to transfer to other schools or risk losing their visas. So, yeah. Now, in a court filing yesterday, Maureen Martin, the university's director of immigration services, detailed a long list of consequences the directive had on Harvard University in the week since it announced, since the Trump's decision was announced. Some international students are looking to transfer due to the order. Others are declining offers to Harvard. Those with Harvard visas are getting extra screening at airports, and other countries are looking to recruit students away from Harvard. Before the hearing, the Trump administration said it would give Harvard 30 days to hand over certain information before implementing its directive, but the judge still chose to put her injunction in place. Judge Burroughs told the lawyers for Harvard and the Trump administration to work out an agreement to keep the student visa program in place. She said, quote, it doesn't need to be draconian, but I want to make sure it's worded in such a way that nothing changes, end of quote. The ruling comes amid a heated battle between Harvard and the Trump administration. I don't know why these people seem to believe, your president seems to believe that the rule of law does not apply to him. I'm just telling you, that's how this man feels. He believes that the rule of law applies to all of you people, you commoners, you regular lower class people. Okay? He does not have to obey the rule of law. He is your God king. There's nothing you can do. But here's the deal, stupid idiot. You do realize that one of the best law schools in the country is housed at Harvard University. If anybody's going to have the best lawyers this side of the pearly gates, it's going to be Harvard. And there, and just like you feel like you can flex your muscles with your directives and your executive orders, your EOs, they're going to flex their muscle in the goddamn courtroom. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just. How did you think this was going to end? How did you think this was going to end? Oh, we're Aquarius is the only real side. Don't worry, we will get there. We will get there. In more sugar spiky news, well, there's a faction there's a faction of the Asian community that seem to believe that these deportations and the revocations of student visas would only affect Middle Eastern Asian people, that it certainly wouldn't affect Southeast Asian people. Oh no, 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 no. We're not those Asians, We're Southeastern Asians. We're not those Asians. The ones over there in the Middle East. India and the stands, Pakistan, Afghanistan, one of those stands. We're not them. We're not those people. So you're all of your racism and bigotry and discrimination. No, 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 no. Your xenophobia. No, 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 no. That doesn't affect us. That's for the other Asians. Well, here we are. Here the fuck we are. Well, like to hear it. Here it go. The Trump administration will begin revoking visas for Chinese students in the United States who have connections to the Chinese Communist Party or are studying in fields considered sensitive to national security, because that's illegal. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the move Wednesday, May 28th, describing it as part of an effort to, quote, enhance scrutiny, end of quote, of Chinese nationals amid broader immigration and security reforms. Rubio also instructed U.S. embassies to temporarily halt student and exchange visa interviews, citing concerns about ideological influence and foreign surveillance. The Department of Homeland Security is working with the State Department to implement the changes. More than 277,000 Chinese students are enrolled in U.S. universities, making up roughly 1/4 of the total international student population. Many are pursuing degrees in science, engineering, and technology fields, which the U.S. government has flagged as vulnerable to intellectual property theft. It remains unclear how officials will determine individual students' political affiliations or what constitute a, quote, critical academic field, end of quote. Rubio did not provide a timeline for when revocations will begin. China's foreign ministry condemned the move as, quote, unreasonable and discriminatory, end of quote, warning it will damage U.S. China educational exchanges and further strain diplomatic relations. Beijing said the decision was politically motivated and undermines the U.S.'s claims of openness and academic freedom. Hong Kong's chief executive John Lee said the city is ready to welcome students who feel targeted by the new U.S. policy. University leaders and policy experts warned the move could harm American higher education. Quote, shutting the door on Chinese students doesn't just betray our values, it weakens our leadership in science, technology, and innovation, end of quote. And that's according to Gary Locke, a former U.S. ambassador to China. International students who typically pay full tuition are also a vital source of revenue for many colleges and universities. The new visa restrictions follow the Trump administration's separate attempt to block Harvard from enrolling foreign students, a move that was temporarily halted by a judge. listen, listen. Li- Yeah, Uncle Jay, the stands, Afghanistan, Pakistan. If you want to include some of the other ones, Uzbekistan, all of the stands. The leopards are feasting, DPG. They are feasting. Listen, um, I'm just telling you, nobody is exempt. Nobody is absolved from the hatred and bigotry. There are white people all around the country right now finding out that they were not absolved from the hatred and cruelty. Mm-mm. They thought that they were, because they have 4 infinity stones, that they were okay. You have to have all 5 infinity stones. White, male, Christian, heterosexual. But a lot of people forget the fifth infinity stones. Rich. Gotta have all five. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now, um, well, what they're finding, the informed, is that decision that to do away with affirmative action has disproportionately affected the Asian community more than any other community. They thought it was going to be the blacks that get all of the backlash from affirmative action. No, 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 dear one. Just 1 second. Hold up, buttercup. The Asian community are the ones that are disproportionately affected by the end of affirmative action. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Somebody sent me a text. But yeah, these people thought that they were absolved. They thought that they were, we're the good ones. We'll be fine. Mm-hmm. No, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Now, when we're talking about as a whole, white women are affected. But when you're talking about different races, ethnicities, it's the Asian population. Mm-hmm. The AAPIs. Mm-hmm. On the gender spectrum is white women. Uh-huh. Anyway, it was okay when it was just Palestinians and Hispanics. Now, it's the Chinese now. Oh. Let me know how that works out for y'all. We'll be over here minding our own black business. Well, listen, y'all. Listen. What have I been telling y'all over and over and over? I keep telling y'all think that this stuff with ICE is just for foreign nationals, people with visas, people from other countries. I keep telling y'all that actual US citizens are getting caught up in this. Let me read this for you. Authorities handcuffed and detained Leonardo Garcia Venegas, a 25-year-old US born citizen with a real ID, during an immigration raid in Foley, Alabama on last Wednesday. That was the 21st. The raid targeted undocumented workers at a construction site. Officials dismissed Garcia's real ID and citizenship verification, alleging the ID was fake. Agents wrestled him to the ground, removed his phone as he filmed, and detained his undocumented brother during the operation while he repeatedly declared, quote, "I'm a citizen," end of quote. Mr. Garcia provided his social security number, confirming citizenship. However, DHS claimed he interfered with an arrest and refused his commands. Officials said, quote, "There was no mistake," end of quote, in their actions. The incident highlights the ongoing challenges in immigration enforcement under the Trump administration. It raises concerns about racial profiling and prompts fear among Hispanic workers at job sites. They do not care. Let's be clear. Yeah, Ice done hit Martha's Vineyard, Crimson. They said they can't even find people to work the restaurants and different businesses in Martha's Vineyard this summer because them people said they're not going to go to work to get snatched up in these ice raids. Martha's Vineyard done got hit hard. Now here's the deal. Here's the deal. Well, look at here. Hey, Harold. 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 Hey, 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 hey. They do not give a damn. They don't give a damn. It's not about whether or not these people are citizens. They don't want Hispanic people in this country. And if you think it's going to stop with Hispanic people, they don't want our black asses in this country. Because you think they're not going to try and swoop up black people when they start to put out Jamaicans and Haitians and other members of the Caribbean out of this country. They're going to try and swoop us up with them and have us out of this country as well. They want their white country back. Let's be clear. They don't give a damn. You see, the man said, "Here's my actual fucking ID, you stupid ass dick fuck." They said, "We don't give a shit. That shit probably fake anyway. Go ahead, let us go ahead and snatch you up." Remember, we did the story about the young man that was an actual U.S. citizen that went to work in the panhandle of Florida, and they put him in the ICE jail. The mama came and showed the judge his birth certificate, and they said, "Oh, there's nothing we could do for him. He's in ICE control now," and he stayed locked up for several days. It took several days before they could get that man out of jail. I'm just saying. Now that's a good point. That's a very good point, the informed, that nobody is making. Remember when these during the Biden administration, they were shipping these immigrants to other states, by bus and plane and all of that shit. That is a good point. Governor Hot Wheels and Governor Death Sentence do know exactly where these people are. And I'm sure the federal government knows as well. That's a great point. I did not think about that, the informed. I didn't even think about that. Mm. I'm just telling you what this is. I'm just telling you what this is. Universal Goddess, did I even say hey to you? Hey, girl, hey. I don't even think I said hey to you. How you doing today? Uh-huh. But I just want y'all to know what's happening out here. Mhm. Moving on. Why the fuck they ain't knocked on this bitch family door? I keep telling y'all. I told y'all a long time ago. I told y'all before he was even confirmed. I told y'all this motherfucker wasn't shit. I keep trying to tell y'all. Marco Rubio is the problem. And for all of those Democratic senators that voted to confirm him as Secretary of State, do not come to me with this fuck shit about, "Oh, we didn't know. Oh, he wasn't like that in the Senate." No, that bitch been the same way the entire time. Let's be clear. All he wants is power. All he wants is proximity to power. Let's be clear. He ain't never sniffing the White House. This is as high as he's going to get in terms of as high as he will get in the in government. They're not going to put his Cuban ass nowhere near the Oval Office or the Naval Observatory. Sir, you will not take residence in the Oval Office or the Naval Observatory ever. Let's be clear. You and all your little kinfolk down there in Little Havana, over there in the Killian area, blasted "I Will Vote for Donald Trump." Over there just blasting it day and night on constant repeat. Y'all ain't shit. But let me read this because, like I said, he got confirmed 100-0. Not a single Democrat voted to not confirm him, meaning all of the Democratic senators that now sit on the Senate floor, all of them voted to confirm him. Let me say that again. Every single Democratic U.S. senator voted to confirm this bitch. And I've been screaming about that shit ever since. So I don't give a shit if all of their asses are voted out. Nobody's safe. I could give two damns. I do not give a frog's fat ass if every single Democratic senator is voted out. Why? Because you failed us. All of you fuckers did it. But let me read this. Hey, Sharice. Because that shit gets me angry. I'm trying not to spike out. I'm doing everything in my power not to spike the fuck out. Because these bitches be making me mad. Let me read this to you. The State Department on Thursday, that be today, notified Congress of an updated reorganization of the massive agency, proposing cuts to programs beyond what had previously been revealed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and a steeper 18% reduction of staff in the U.S. State Department. Now, let me say again before I read any further, every time you hear about cuts to any agency or any federal organization, that means a whole lot of Black people are losing their jobs, okay? I'm going to remind you all, the largest employer of Black people in this country is the federal government. More than 30% of the federal employees are Black. That is the only institution and entity, a large corporation in this country, and large organization in this country, I should say, that employs that many Black people. There are more Black people working for the American government than any other organization in this country. I'm just telling you. So every time you hear about a reduction in force, or a reduction of staff, that is affecting us. This was strategic. It was intentional. It was deliberate. They knew exactly what it meant when they said that they were going to start to fire and furlough and terminate the contracts of thousands and thousands of federal employees. That's us. I'm just telling you how this goes. Please don't be fooled. Please don't be fooled. Let me continue reading before I spike out. Every time I see this man, I want to spike out. The plan changes detailed in a notification letter obtained by news outlets reflect. Oh, Jesus God. Why are people bothering me? Reflect the Trump administration's push to reshape American diplomacy and scale back the size of the federal government. The restructuring has been driven in part by the need to find a new home for the remaining function of the USAID, an agency that the Trump administration officials have dismantled through Doge. The proposal includes an even higher reduction of domestic staff than the 15% initially floated in February. The department is also planning to eliminate some divisions tasked with oversight of America's 2-decade involvement in Afghanistan, including an office focused on resettling Afghan nationals who worked alongside the U.S. military. The letter sent to Congress by the State Department notes that the reorganization will affect more than 100 bureaus and offices, saying it's eliminating divisions it describes as doing unclear or overlapping work that Rubio believes, quote, effective modern diplomacy requires streamlining this bloated bureaucracy, end of quote. The document is clear that the reorganization is also intended to eliminate programs, particularly those related to refugees and immigration, as well as human rights and democracy promotion, that the Trump administration believes have become ideologically driven in a way that is incompatible with its priorities and policies. Quote, these offices, which have proven themselves prone to ideological capture and radicalism, will be either eliminated with their statutory functions realigned elsewhere in the department or restructured to better reflect the appropriate scope and the administration's foreign policy priorities. End of quote. This is this is happening. The reorganization notes USAID's dismantle and the shifting of some of its work to the State Department, particularly under a vastly restructured Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration, or better known as PRM. PRM will have under its responsibility U.S. international disaster relief operations that have previously been taxed by USAID. Under the new scheme, PRM will shift from facilitating migration into the United States to focusing on migrants targeted for deportation and, quote, supporting the administration's effort to return illegal aliens to their country of origin or legal status, end of quote. The Bureau, quote, will also actively facilitate the voluntary return of migrants to their country of origin or legal status, end of quote. Another office tasked with human rights issues and refugees also is being renamed and having its focus shifted to reflect an emphasis on border security issues. The bureaus set to be cut inside the Office of Global Women's Issues and the State Department's diversity and inclusion efforts, which have been eliminated government wide under Trump. Um, the letter says the Women's Issues Office is being eliminated to, quote, ensure that promoting women's rights and empowerment is a priority across the full scope of the department's diplomatic engagement, end of quote. Efforts to cut the department's Afghan programs received immediate backlash from veterans groups and advocates who have spent the last 3.5 years since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan working to resettle and integrate Afghans into life in the U.S. Quote, this is not streamlining. This is deliberate dismantling, end of quote, said Sean Van Diver, a Navy veteran and head of Afghan evac. CARE, which stands for the Coordinator for Afghan Relocation Efforts, was created in October of 2021 in the aftermath of the withdrawal. The office was designed to help Afghans, like interpreters who aided the U.S. military, who were eligible for resettlement in the U.S. due to their work helping America during the war. The State Department notification says its work will be, quote, realigned, end of quote, to the Afghanistan Affairs Office. Overtime care was credited. Well, it talks about that. This is what this is about, y'all. Listen, listen. Anything that the State Department did to promote the United States being a diplomatic country, to promote the United States advancing the cause of diplomacy, helping countries around the world, doing the right thing, all of that is being put out. They're turning the State Department that's housed here within the borders of the United States, they're turning it into another arm of DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, meaning they're going to realign these offices to help the Department of Homeland Security push more illegal immigrants out. Mhm. That's what this realignment is. Mhm. That's what this is all about. We want no parts of helping, being diplomatic, or advancing the cause of diplomacy, helping countries when they may have issues with natural disasters or famine and starvation. Nope, no parts of that. Fuck all of that. We don't want no part. All we care about is putting people out of our country. Uh-huh. Just telling you. DPG, I don't even got to say nothing. You already know the answer. I'm telling you, I will never forgive those Democratic senators that voted to confirm this man. Let me move on because I feel myself spiking out. Let me move to oh God. We go from one sugar spiky person to the next. Well, like to hear it. Here it go. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s flagship Health Commission report contains citations to studies that do not exist. And that's according to an investigation by the U.S. publication Notice. The report exposes glaring scientific failures from a health secretary who earlier this week threatened to ban government scientists from publishing in leading medical journals. The 73-page Make America Healthy Again report, which was commissioned by the Trump administration to examine the causes of chronic illness and which Kennedy promoted as a quote gold standard end of quote science backed by more than 500 citations, includes references to 7 studies that appear to be entirely invented and others that the researchers say have been mischaracterized. 2 supposed studies on ADHD medication advertising simply on ADHD medication advertising simply do not exist in the journals where they are claimed to be published. Virginia Commonwealth University confirmed to Notice that researcher Robert L. Findling, listed as an author of one paper, never wrote such an article, while another citation leads only to the Kennedy report itself when searched online. Harold J. Farber, a pediatric specialist supposedly behind research on asthma overprescribing, told Notice he never wrote the cited paper and had never worked with the other listed authors. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has not immediately responded. However, the citation and failures come as Secretary Kennedy, a noted skeptic of vaccines, criticized medical publishing this week, branding top journals The Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, and JAMA as corrupt. We reported on that yesterday. And alleging they were controlled by pharmaceutical companies. He outlined plans for creating government run journals instead. Journals that will be fictitious and will have citations of studies and research that never existed. Beyond the phantom studies in Kennedy's report, Notice found its systematically, misrepresented existing research. For example, one paper was claimed to show that talking therapy was as effective as psychiatric medication, but the statistician Joanne McKenzie said this was impossible as quote, we did not include psychotherapy, end of quote, in the review. The researcher Mariana G. Figueroa also said her study was mischaracterized, with the report incorrectly stating it involved children rather than college students and citing the wrong journal entirely. The Trump administration asked Kennedy for the report in order to look at chronic illness causes from pesticides to mobile phone radiation. Secretary Kennedy called it a quote milestone that provides evidence-based foundation, end of quote, for sweeping policy changes. A follow-up Make Our Children Healthy Again strategy report is due in August, raising concerns about the scientific credibility underpinning the administration's health agenda. They're making it up. They're making the bullshit up. Hey, Miss Baythang. They're making the shit up as they go along. Completely making it up. And so now, hey, Symmetry, what we have here is you're going to have federal agencies like the NIH, the CDC, the FDA, the EPA, and all of these other federal agencies that we have come to trust in the Department of Health and Human Services. Now we no longer can trust them. These people are putting out these reports, just making it up, making the shit up. I told y'all the other day when he put out this guidance saying that pregnant women should no longer have to get COVID-19 vaccinations, and the Association of Obstetricians and Gynecologists summarily came out right after that saying this is not real science. We would never tell a pregnant woman not to get the COVID vaccine. This is what we have going on. I'm not going to even say it's AI, Miss Baythang, because AI would cite real credible work. This shit is scary. And they're developing whole policies about shit that they've made up in their head. We knew this was coming when they decided to confirm a non-vaxxer as the Secretary of HHS. What did y'all think was going to happen? What did y'all think was going to happen? And so now they're making actual policies. They're making actual policy off of the whims of these people and their conspiracy theories. Things that they're just nilly-willy making up off the top of their head. These people don't have a fucking clue. And real substantive policies are being made. Insurance companies are going to follow the guidance coming out of these organizations, only for them to be based on the ideations of fucking lunatics. So when your insurance company says, we ain't paying for that, and you're saying my doctor says I need this, they're going to say, well, we have policy from the feds that say that, or from the CDC or from NIH or from some other entity saying that we shouldn't have to pay for that. This shit is now, if anything, if you found nothing else today alarming, this right here should be the most alarming thing, because this affects people's health. This is a safety to life issue, meaning this has real substantive consequences to people's health, their medical care, and in a lot of cases, it's going to have sweeping effects on what health payers and insurance companies end up paying for with regard to your medical treatment. I'm just saying. This is scary, y'all. This is the shit that's scary. And the fact that mainstream media, legacy media, isn't screaming from the rooftops, the fact that this isn't a top story over all mainstream media today is a problem. That is scary. Let's move on. Jamal Bryant is now calling for a new boycott. Let me read this to you. Pastor Jamal Bryant is calling out corporations for their business practices and is encouraging consumers to do the same. In March, Bryant successfully led what he called a quote target fast in the quote boycotting the retailer's decision to roll back its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in compliance with the Trump administration's demands. The fast, which was initially supposed to last through Lent, ended up being indefinite, and the impact has been undeniable. As consumers continue to protest Target, multiple reports from the retailer have noted a decline in sales, foot traffic, and warnings to investors about the impact of the boycotts. Quote, the boycott is against Target. I'm sorry, quote, the boycott against Target is the most successful boycott by Black people in 70 years since the Montgomery bus boycott. They've lost $12 billion in valuation. The stock tumbled from $145 a share to $93 a share. The CEO's salary was cut by 43%, according end of quote. And that's according that's what Jamal told CNN. Um Now he's encouraging Black communities to boycott Dollar General. Quote, we chose Dollar General because it's 3 times larger than Target and Walmart combined and has never given to any organization within the Black community. Dollar General is within 5 miles of 75% of Americans' homes and still no accountability. They contribute to food deserts, not just an absence of food, but also an absence of fairness. And so we wanted to hold them accountable. End of quote. Um Additionally, Pastor Jamal Bryant notes how Dollar General has quote bowed to the pressure of the Trump administration and rolled back their diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Um End of quote. So are y'all gonna boycott? Are we boycotting Dollar General as well? I'm just trying to find out what we're doing. Listen, I'm here for all of it. Are we boycotting Dollar General as well? Y'all ain't said nothing. Are we? I don't. I got a Dollar General right here. Am I boycotting? Hmm. I mean, I do go to that Dollar General for a couple things. I can get like the little Clorox bleach spray. It's a little cheap at Dollar General. It's a couple of things I buy from over there. They got their deodorant is less expensive. Little things like deodorant, the bleach spray. From there it's easier than going to Publix or whatnot. Right, Harold. Callie say she's over in LA. They don't slum it up in the Dollar Generals with you people. Callie say we don't really have one over here. We don't got nothing to worry about. Harold, in a lot of places, Dollar General reigns supreme. Yeah, for quick little things I need to buy, like deodorant and stuff, maybe some lotion, and stuff like that. I don't know. Tanya said, hey, Tanya. Tanya said, I'll go there anyway. I don't care. Hey, lovely True Red. Lovely True Red say, listen, I'm a coupon. I go there all the time. Girl. They can't keep staff. They listen, every month it's a new person working over there to the Dollar General. Well, we gonna monitor the situation. Let us know when this boycott's supposed to start, and we'll let you know at that time, Jamal. Okay, I'm just glad you started boycotting Giselle's box, her cooter, because anything we can do to help you maintain that boycott you have on Giselle's box, we're here for it. I wanted to give y'all this story. Now I know we didn't have Teacher Project 2.0 this week, but I want to give you this story so that you all are aware, okay, in case it comes to your community. Here's the story. San Francisco public schools are pausing a quote, grading for equity and end of quote initiative. Keep that in mind when you hear that buzzword, that buzz term, grading for equity. That's when you need to be concerned. So they're pausing. San Francisco public schools are pausing a quote grading for equity end of quote initiative that was set to launch in high schools this fall, following backlash from the community and what the superintendent calls quote misinformation end of quote about the project's goals. The policy was first reported Tuesday, May 27th, by a nonprofit media organization. Their investigation found that the district is working with an outside company to train teachers on a new grading system, one where, for example, a grade of 41% would be reclassified as a C, typically viewed as a average or passing grade. Let me say that again. A grade of 41% would be reclassified as a C. According to the school board agenda records, the San Francisco Unified School District's grading for equity initiative includes the following changes. Listen to this. I want y'all to listen to the following changes, okay? First change, students may retake tests or assignments to improve their grade. Now, a lot of school districts have gone to that policy, so that's not that new. But these next ones are what should alarm you. Here's the next one. Second one. Students will not be academically penalized for lateness, effort, or participation. Let me say that again. Students will not be academically penalized for lateness, effort, or participation, meaning it could be as late as they want it to be. They can choose not to put any effort in it at all, or can choose not to participate at all. Here's the third one. Use of rubrics will be emphasized. Now that's nothing new. We've seen most school districts already have that in place. Here's the fourth one. Classwork and homework will not be calculated into final grades, only final tests and major projects. Let me say that again. Classwork and homework will no longer be calculated into final grades, only final tests and major projects. Now, I've seen some school districts, say they're not going to tell teachers not to include homework, but now classwork can't be included in final grade. Here's the last one. No student will receive below 50%, though that is a failing grade, even for incomplete or missing work. Alternatively, some grading systems may use a 0 to 4 scale instead of the traditional 0 to 100 scale to prevent a single low grade from significantly impacting a student's overall average. Let me say that again. No student will receive below 50%. Though that is a failing grade, they won't receive below a 50%, even for incomplete or missing work. I, I'm just reading what we have going on here. I'm just saying. I'm just reading to y'all. Now, the community in San Francisco, they when they heard about this, they fought back and said, "Yeah, nah, we ain't here for this." And their contention was there was not enough public input into this. They just tried to roll it out there and say, we're going to do this. They're calling this um remember, they're calling it grading for equity. And most people are saying um this is not equity. Now, watch this. I'm going to read this to you. This will be more alarming. Some educators have defended the equitable grading approach, including Independence High School principal Anastasia Clafter. Um, Independence High School, according to Principal Clafter, has several teachers who are already using the equitable grading approach and said that retaking tests is not uncommon at many schools. Quote, when grading doesn't reflect the student's true understanding, it undermines deep learning and mastery of content, which should be the ultimate goal of education. End of quote. That's what she said. Quote, the old practices we cling to were born in a different era, under different circumstances. It's it is time to emphasize learning over effort. Prioritizing learning is exactly what equitable grading is. It recognizes the individual journey of every student. It acknowledges that we all learn differently at our own pace and in various ways. End of quote. And that's from a biology teacher at Dublin High School. Here's the deal, Miss Biology teacher. In order for us to understand if learning has taken place, there has to be some amount of effort. There has to be some amount of participation. You saying that students will not be academically penalized if they don't show any effort or don't show any or don't participate at all doesn't make sense. How then do you assess whether or not learning has taken place? I just want you to explain that to me, ma'am. If a student says, I'm not doing that, how then do we assess whether or not they've learned? I'll wait. Y'all better monitor what these schools are doing. Monitor. Y'all got to monitor what's going on. And when and if these things get enacted, you have to have control of what's going on in your own house, okay? You got to keep your own house in order because these people are not going to do it. Let's move on. Rainbow Coalition Compound. I done stayed away from y'all for a little moment. Let me remind y'all of what I keep screaming to y'all. Do y'all remember? Put a 27 in the chat. If you remember me telling the Rainbow Coalition Compound that when they started stripping away DEI, when there became this attack on the LGBTQ plus community, that sponsors would start to remove their sponsorship from Pride events. Remember me saying that several months ago? Remember me saying, yeah, Pride ain't gonna look the same because these major corporations that in the past have paid big time dollars to sponsor your Pride events, they're not going to do that anymore. Well, here we are. Here we are. Let me read this to you. When Utah brought in its pride flag ban, organizer Chad Call was hardly surprised. On May 7th, the US state ban became the first explicitly Utah's state ban became the first explicitly prohibit the flying of LGBTQ plus flags at government buildings and schools. Anyone who does so could face fines of up to $500 a day. Quote, we live in an incredibly conservative state. It's disappointing that this is such an important issue to our lawmakers. Unfortunately, we lead the nation in anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, end of quote. And that's what Chad Call said to a news outlet. Similar Pride Month flag bans have been signed into law. And what the hell is going on with my phone? Lord, hold on, y'all. Listen, I don't have this type of time. Get off my phone. Similar Pride Month flag bans have been signed into law in Idaho and Montana. In Salt Lake City, Idaho, and Boise, which are both Democrat run, people are already resisting the ban. Salt Lake City has introduced 3 newly designed flags featuring the city's low traditional seagull lily design imposed over a pride flag, the transgender flag, and the Juneteenth flag. Meanwhile, Boise's mayor issued a proclamation retroactively making the pride flag an official city flag. Now, the exodus of sponsors from U.S. Pride events, large and small, have made headlines. The loss of the likes of Anheuser-Busch, Comcast, Diageo from San Francisco Pride has accounted for $200,000+ in the funding for the Pride event. Last year, the Pride event on the San Francisco Pride, they spent 3.2 million. This year, they're saying their funding could be down to 1.5 million. Some organizers say that companies retreating from Pride have been spooked by Donald Trump's anti-DEI crusade. Utah Pride, for instance, is short $400,000 or close to half of its budget. Yet some companies have said they are pulling their financial support because of the jittery economic climate. Right. Right. New York City Pride, the country's largest pride festival, attended by an estimated 2.5 million people, has seen the withdrawal of MasterCard, PepsiCo, Nissan, Citi, and PricewaterhouseCoopers as corporate sponsors. The New York Times reported that 25% of New York Pride's corporate donors had, quote, canceled or scaled back their support, citing economic uncertainty and fear of retribution from the Trump administration, end of quote. Organizers Heritage of Pride now face an estimated $750,000 deficit. Technology company Booz Allen Hamilton withdrew their backing from World Pride, the biannual global themed event this year happening in Washington, D.C. as we speak. And it goes on. There's company after company after company that is pulling out or limiting their financial support of Pride events. This is happening. This is happening. Moving on. In some good news for Pride, Naples, Florida was the city officials had told the LGBTQ plus community in Naples, Florida, that they would not be able to have their Pride event. Well, a U.S. district judge, John Steele, ruled that their decision violated free speech rights, and so they had to issue LGBTQ plus sponsors an event permit in order to have their pride event. Now, the Naples city officials have already uh, um, they have already appealed that decision, but we don't know if that appeal will go through prior to the Pride events. But this is at least that's some good news. But you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to try to appeal this and get an emergency injunction. In more sugar spiky news, I told you I had a packed dossier today. Now, two North Carolina state troopers won't face criminal charges even after local prosecutors discovered they lied and mishandled a case involving a black man who died in a single vehicle car crash last year. Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman has decided not to pursue prosecution against Trooper Garrett Macario and Sergeant Matthew Morrison with the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. Macario and Morrison were both involved in police response to an October 2024 crash that killed 31-year-old Tyrone Mason. Mason died after his 2018 Chevrolet Malibu slammed into a concrete barrier at 2:30 a.m. on October 7, 2024. Macario was the officer who called in the crash to local law enforcement. However, he disclosed the responding he disclosed to responding officers that he had chased Tyrone Mason just before the 31-year-old driver crashed into the barrier. He initially told his supervisor, Sergeant Morrison. Body cam footage shows that right after Macario called for backup and first responders, he called Sergeant Morrison, informed him about the crash, and told him he chased Tyrone Mason after seeing him speeding on the highway. However, according to North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation's report, he gave up the pursuit shortly after Mason lost control of the car and crashed into the barrier. Sergeant Morrison then advised Officer Macario to deny any involvement and instead say that he, quote, rolled up, end of quote, on the wreck. The stream of information trickled down to Raleigh police and finally to Officer Tyrone Mason's, mother, Henrietta Mason. When Raleigh police informed Miss Mason about the deadly crash and the death of her son, they initially told her that a trooper didn't try to pull her son over. It wasn't until December when a Raleigh officer called her and told her the truth that she sent inquiries to the State Bureau of Investigations, which resulted in an investigation into the trooper's conduct. This is a mess, y'all. A mess. After looking into the matter and reviewing the body cam footage, District Attorney Attorney Freeman determined the troopers had lied to local police, violated North Carolina State Highway Patrol standards, and dropped charges in the 180 pending in a total of 180 pending DWI cases in which either Officer Macario or Sergeant Morrison were the arresting officers. They had to drop 180 charges, pending DWI charges of people all across North Carolina. Now, they still chose not to charge these two, right? Here's what the district attorney said. District Attorney Freeman said, quote, while their dishonesty violates the standards to which law enforcement officers must adhere, the district attorney is not pursuing criminal charges as the evidence would not support a successful prosecution. End of quote. District Attorney Freeman said she also discovered that while Officer Macario initially lied to some Raleigh officers, he later told the Raleigh police captain that he tried to conduct a traffic stop before the crash. The district attorney said Officer Macario's initial false statements are, quote, inexcusable, but his subsequent truthful statements within the relevant time frame prevent the state from being able to move forward with a successful prosecution, end of quote. This is a mess, a whole mess. This is the district attorney's office protecting law enforcement. And we see this all the time around the country. Law enforcement does the wrong thing, behaves badly. The district attorney, who's the prosecutor in that area, is supposed to bring them up on charges, and they're working hand in hand with law enforcement. This is why we have spoken over and over and over about the need for police reform, about a whole sweeping reform of the criminal justice system in these yet to be United States of America. So the fact that y'all had to drop 181 cases of DWI or these traffic stops, doesn't it stand to reason that this same officer probably was pulling this man over for no reason at all? And this man died because he was being chased by this officer for no reason at all. A mess. Just a mess. In our last sugar spiky story, where my DMV people at? Where all my DMV people, or people who catch the metro down to the DMV? Where y'all at? I need y'all to hear this. Representative Greg Steube of the great state of Florida introduced a bill today to rename the Washington, D.C. subway system after Donald Trump and his MAGA slogan. The Make Auto Rail Great Again Act would withhold federal funding to Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, known as WMATA, until it rebrands the Washington Metropolitan Authority for Greater Access, or WMAGA, a similar acronym to Make America Great, to the Make America Great Again slogan, and would rename the Metro Rail the Trump Rail. First of all, sir, you don't even live, you're not even from there. You don't even represent that area. Bitch, you from Florida. Why the fuck are you? Listen, when y'all be running on, when y'all end up riding on the Trump train, Cymera, Candace F, Crazy Whole Body Girl, y'all gonna be riding on Trump train. They gonna change it from WMATA to WMAGA, and they're gonna call the Metro Trump train. I'm just saying. Miss Shorty B says she don't even live there. She live in New Jersey, and it's a no for her. I'm just saying. Candace F say she from the DMV, but she ain't riding in that dump. She says she ain't riding in no damn metro, so she ain't got to worry about it. I'm just saying. Hey, Sam, hey. Too Feisty said they're trying to rename Southern Boulevard in West Palm Beach after. Really? I know where Southern Boulevard is, Too Feisty. I know where that's at. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. Ciao. Anyway, as we do a swan dive out of the Sugar Spike segment and further into the Dossier, let's go ahead and get the Diddy trial over with today. Apparently, there was a lot to do down to the Diddy trial today. So let's get you your Diddy trial updates. Hold on. Let me get this party started. Hold on. Hold your line. Hold your line. Let's go ahead and get this started. Okay. Now, I thought the Deontay guy was done yesterday. Apparently, he wasn't done. Remember Deontay Nash, the stylist guy? Well, apparently, he wasn't done yesterday. He was just done for the day. So he came back today to take the witness stand. At the beginning of the when they opened court, Judge Subramanian stated that there would be no court sketches of the witness, prosecution witness Mia, because that's an alias. And in the lawsuit, she's victim 4 in the lawsuit, but she wants to remain anonymous, and that there will be no courtroom sketches made of her. All right. All right. So Deontay Nash, the stylist, took the stand again. He admitted he didn't initially tell prosecutors. Now, when he took the stand today, this was continued cross examination. Okay, so this is the Diddy's lawyers cross examining him. He admitted that he didn't initially tell prosecutors that Cassie had been allegedly kicked by Diddy in one particular attack he witnessed. He said he just wanted to answer questions in the most narrow way possible. Quote, they didn't ask. I gave as little as possible. I only answered what I was asked. He said. After breaking up with Diddy, Cassie began communicating with Michael B. Jordan, according to Mr. Nash. He said, quote, dating, talking, getting to know each other, end of quote. That's what Cassie and Michael B. Jordan was doing. Mr. Nash admitted under cross-examination that from 2008 to 2013, Cassie never mentioned to him about the freak-offs she performed for Diddy. The defense's implications would be that the freak-offs weren't as troubling as Cassie had described if she failed to mention them to her friend, Mr. Nash. Mr. Nash testified that he saw Mia on a video call with Cassie, and she had a visible black eye. He said, quote, I saw it in person. When her makeup wears off, you can see it, end of quote. Mr. Nash recalled the time when he spotted a random man joining Cassie in her Las Vegas hotel room without Diddy's presence. The testimony could feed the defense's narrative that Cassie had sex with strangers as a normal part of her life and not as a forced act from Diddy's direction. The freak-offs allegedly ordered by Diddy are central to the prosecution's allegations that he used his business to engage in sex trafficking and other crimes. A former personal assistant to Diddy, who will be referred to only by a pseudonym, Mia, then took the stand. She's expected to testify to the forced labor and racketeering charges in the indictment. The prosecution entered Mia's passport into court records under seal, with her true name and date of birth shown only to jurors. Witnesses normally take the witness stand and state their name in open court for the record, but this witness is only being referred to by the pseudonym Mia. She previously worked for Combs as a personal assistant. Mia described working for Combs as, quote, chaotic and toxic, end of quote, but said that it was exciting. It could be exciting. She said, quote, the highs were really high and the lows really low. Puff's mood determined the environment. He threw things at me. He threw me against the wall. He threw me in the pool. He threw something against my head, sexually assaulted me. End of quote. She said he sexually assaulted her on more than one occasion. Diddy has gone by several names in the past, including Puff Daddy, hence the nickname Puff. Mia said she worked for Diddy from 2009 to 2017 and had applied when she was 25 or 26. Diddy said the job would be 24/7 for the promised compensation of $55,000, and that she ended up being paid $50,000. That's all? I got to work 24 hours a day and you only giving me $50,000? Oh, girl, no, ma'am. Bitch, listen, I won't work for my job right now for $50,000 a year, much less you telling me I got to work 24/7. Oh, girl, no, ma'am. Mia testified that she worked 5 days straight without sleeping. Wait, how is that possible? Girl, I ain't gonna even ask. Quote, we were traveling Las Vegas. There was always things going on. End of quote. She noted she had an Adderall prescription since she was 17, and it helped her function without sleep. Even anybody, hold on before I continue. Does that really sound feasible? Hey, Catherine Powell. Hey, Jason. Listen, I'm trying to figure out, is that possible for somebody to stay up for 5 days straight? I'm let me not ask no question. Let me continue reading. Where was I? Quote, I had a physical breakdown. My hearing went. It felt like I was underwater. My equilibrium was off, blurred vision. Out of nowhere, I was hysterical and could not stop crying. At that point, Puff said she could go to sleep. End of quote. Mia testified that when she traveled with Combs and stayed at his properties, locking her own bedroom door wasn't allowed. Quote, Puff said, this is my house and no one locks the doors, end of quote. That rule didn't seem to apply to the predominantly male security team that stayed in rooms with deadbolt and keypad locks, she recalled. Mia said as an assistant, she managed Combs' social media presence, served as the main liaison between Combs and Hollywood, managed his daily routine, kept him on a schedule, and protected him and his privacy. She said she had to stay attached to her BlackBerry and stay within Combs' eyesight, as well as anticipate his needs and his whims and moods. Quote, every single day is different. Can be 17,000 things at one time, range from cracking knuckles, doing taxes, or writing his next movie. He can also have you stand next to him for 24 hours and not ask you to do one thing. End of quote. Mia said she and Cassie grew close and, quote, became like sisters, best friends, end of quote, during their time working with Diddy. Cassie and Diddy had a rocky relationship, according to Mia. She said, quote, with highs and lows, end of quote, that often included abuse by the defendant. She still keeps in close contact today with Cassie. According to Mia, Diddy fancied himself a pseudo director while Cassie was shooting The Perfect Match, with his which hit screens in 2016. Diddy was often on set and would, quote, insert himself into, quote, into production, asking all sorts of questions and making suggestions about Cassie's hairstyle, wardrobe, and even nails, according to Mia. When Mia was asked what would happen when she did something without Combs's permission, she said, quote, it would be bad, serious. She and Cassie would get in trouble, end of quote. She continued in her testimony saying, quote, the punishment was unpredictable and terrifying, end of quote. If Cassie didn't pick up Combs's phone call, multiple people would call and text her, and security would show up if they couldn't find her. Mia said she saw, quote, a lot of the aftermath, end of quote, of Diddy and Cassie's relationship. She said she saw Cassie with injuries. She also saw Diddy attack Cassie and throw her on the ground. She said, quote, I've seen him crack her head open, end of quote. She did not recall ever seeing Cassie fight back. According to Mia, Cassie never fought back against Diddy during multiple violent attacks. In one particularly disturbing incident, Mia said she found Cassie hiding from Diddy outside in bushes, quote, with a terrified look in her eyes, end of quote. Mia said that Cassie suffered a nasty cut on her forehead after Diddy attacked her at the victim's Los Angeles apartment. Mia testified she tried to stop the beating by jumping on Combs's back before Diddy threw her against the wall. Quote, it was so fast, but I felt I was in slow motion. I saw him grab Cass and I couldn't get there fast enough. The bed platform was the sharpest and I had the sharpest I had ever seen, and he threw her and she hit her head on the corner of the bed. She had a pretty big scar on her forehead, which was split open and blood was coming out. End of quote. Mia recalled an incident in 2012 when she and Cassie went out to a party without Diddy's permission. They were all in a suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and Diddy had directed Mia to stay there with Cassie as he was going to be with his kids. Mia said a friend called and said Prince was having a party. She and Cassie, quote, like little kids snuck out of the house, end of quote. They went to Prince's party and were having fun when Diddy showed up. Quote, I saw his bucket hat coming through the entrance. We locked eyes and crap. Cass and I started running through the house to get across the yard, trying to run and hide. Puff caught Cass. He caught up to her and had her and threw her to the ground and started to attack her. Mia said Prince's security intervened. The next day, Mia was notified she was being suspended without pay, and Diddy said she was being insubordinate. Um Mia recalled a scary confrontation in 2012 when she and Cassie were barricaded in a beachside room, hiding from an enraged Diddy during a vacation in the Turks and Caicos Islands. They pushed furniture to block the front of the door as Diddy was allegedly banging and screaming to be let in. Quote, I was looking at Cass and she was screaming for help, and you have to help, saying you have to help me. Puff is going to kill me. She is usually chill and calm, and she was terrified. End of quote. The pair dashed out a back door to the beach and out to a paddle board, allowing them to flee into the water. Quote, the weather shifted dramatically and the sky turned black, end of quote. Mia remembered. She went on to say, quote, we were both debating. I was trying to weigh if it was scarier to face Mother Nature or go back to Puff. We eventually went back to Puff, end of quote. At times, Mia appeared to struggle to keep her emotions in check and breathe while describing Diddy's tumultuous relationship with Cassie. She almost appeared to be hyperventilating and had to catch her breath in describing how heartbroken Diddy was in December 2011 when he learned that Cassie was seeing Kid Cudi. Mia testified that Cassie and Diddy sometimes had hotel nights and some lasted multiple nights. Mia testified she would sometimes take them there, unpack, and set up. Diddy asked her to bring toiletries, clothes, candles, lotions, baby oil, Astroglide, and condoms, she said. One night stood out at the London Hotel in New York when Cassie answered the door in her underwear. Quote, she was struggling. I had never seen her like that before. So much that I had so much that I asked her, are you okay? And she said, I'm good, and closed the door. End of quote. Mia said Diddy asked her to clean up the rooms to open up, quote, enough stuff that the housekeeper couldn't clean. End of quote. She said the state of the hotel rooms after they were used was a nightmare, destroyed and really nasty, including candle wax, broken glass, water on the floor, sometimes blood and oil on the walls, and wet towels. Mia was I'm sorry. According to Mia, Diddy was frequently taking ketamine and other drugs, often at inappropriate times. She recalled him once taking these drugs on his way for an appearance with Chelsea Handler. The witness said hitting the road with Diddy was like being with a traveling medicine cabinet, as pills were stashed in plastic bags and or in his Louis Vuitton pouch. Mia described her dynamic with Diddy as hot and cold. Sometimes he treated her like his best friend and working partner, and other times, quote, like I was a worthless piece of crap, end of quote, she testified. In the good times, he'd open up about personal things and compliment her work. Other times, quote, he would humiliate me, curse at me, go on a rant about how incompetent and stupid I was, end of quote. She said she told jurors he'd throw things at her, including spaghetti, on one occasion. In that incident, she said she had started to go down to her room because she had been working since 8 a.m. without a break and needed to change her tampon. Outraged, he threw spaghetti at her and started to curse at her, chased her up the stairs, and she hid and eventually escaped to a hotel. She said, on another occasion, she testified he threw a computer at her head while in Los Angeles in a trailer on a movie set. He was in a rage over the Wi Fi not working, but the computer did not make contact with her head, she recalled. She ran out of the trailer and hid afterward. Mia recalled an incident in 2012 in Los Angeles when Diddy allegedly slammed a door on her arm multiple times. At his request, Mia said she had made a call for him on her phone, prompting her to stay close to get the device back from him immediately. But when Diddy tried bolting away from her into a bathroom, she said she followed him, where he then slammed the door on her arm multiple times. Mia said Diddy sexually assaulted her after pouring her 3 shots of vodka in a hotel penthouse. After complimenting her work, Diddy, who had been celebrating his 40th birthday, served the drinks and then kissed her as he put his hand up her dress. Up her dress. She said, "quote I was shocked." End of quote. Mia then testified about another sexual assault, this time in 2009 or 10, at Diddy's home in Los Angeles. She said she was on the bottom of a bunk bed when she was awakened by Diddy on top of her. Asked if he wanted to have sex with, asked if she wanted to have sex with Diddy. A tearful Mia said no, and quote, it was very quick, end of quote. She began to cry profusely. Mia hadn't been allowed to lock the door when staying at Diddy's properties, she testified earlier. Diddy once forced Mia to perform oral sex on him in an attack that made her feel, quote, like trash, end of quote. Mia said she was just frozen when Diddy came out of a closet at his LA home and had his penis out of his pants before forcing her head down. She said the attack made her feel, quote, like trash, end of quote, when the prosecution asked if she had consented to this. Mia replied, quote, no, it was really fast, end of quote. Mia then testified that there were other sexual assaults, but said she couldn't recall all the details. Quote, I just remember feeling like a specific horrible dark feeling in my stomach, end of quote. There was no particular pattern or timing of the attacks, Mia said, other than that they unfolded when Cassie was not around. Quote, I always thought this was the last time. Next time I would somehow be more prepared. I had to get right back to work. There was so much going on, end of quote. Mia began to cry and struggled to get her voice above a whisper in testifying how she and Cassie's sexual assaults continued and that somehow it was, quote, my fault, end of quote. Mia said she, quote, felt so desperate and terrified and trapped that it was my fault, end of quote. There was a point in her life when Mia said she was determined to take these alleged assaults to the grave. Quote, I was going to die with this. I didn't want anyone to know ever. End of quote, she said. The witness testified that Combs's name um, once helped her get out of multiple traffic tickets in Los Angeles. In one case, Mia said she was in a hurry to pick up Diddy when she was pulled over, telling the officer who her employer was. The officer didn't believe Mia until she called him, and the officer let her go without a ticket. She testified. Then in another case, she was driving with Diddy when they were pulled over, but once the officers got a look at her passenger, she said they were allowed to roll on. Mia ended her testimony for the day, telling jurors that the sexual assaults she says she was subjected to were, quote, the most traumatizing, end of quote, moments of her life. When the prosecutor asked why she agreed to testify, Mia said, quote, because I have to tell the truth, the whole truth, end of quote. Mia said she absolutely did not want to discuss the attacks in public. Quote, it's the most traumatizing, worst thing that's ever happened to me, end of quote, she told the jurors. The jury was then dismissed for the day. It's also noted in a lot of social media posts have come out since today's testimony that most of the court was in tears. Most of the people that were in the gallery in the court were literally in tears. They've been saying during Mia's testimony. They said it was very compelling testimony, even more compelling than Cassie. And they said much of the gallery in the court was in tears. And that's your update from the Diddy trial today. All right. Well, Offset is in the news. He's asking a court to give him spousal support. He filed an amended divorce response earlier this month, in which he's now asking Cardi to pay him spousal support. He does not request a specific amount, though, in the court documents. The rest of the requests look relatively unchanged. He is still asking for a joint custody of their children, and he wants Cardi's place to serve as the primary residence for the kids. Yeah, I guess he ain't making that kind of money no more. No more. I mean, now they said that Cardi B reportedly has a net worth somewhere between 80 and 100 million dollars. Offset only has a net worth of around 30 million. I don't like neither one of these people. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If it were the other way around and Cardi B was asking for spousal support, what do you want me to say? You married him, Cardi B. You let him beat your blocks in. He wasn't shit when you met him. You wasn't shit when you met him. He's asking for spousal support. Pay that man his money. Xavier. Because you'd have been absent from class the last couple of days, but you was going to try and roll up in Really B's class. If Really B was live right now, you was going to try and roll up in the tribe meeting, huh? Mm-hmm. 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 Listen, y'all know I can't stand Cardi B. I'm on the other side of the fence. Katrina, pay that man his money. I hope he takes her to the cleaners. Mm-hmm. Do. I'm just saying. Moving on. Ciao, y'all. You listen. In You can't make this shit up news you can't make this shit up news of the day, right? Tory Lanez's legal team has created a website aimed at reshaping the narrative and highlighting testimony they believe was overlooked during the trial. Hold on. I have the website right here. Y'all want to hold on. Let's visit the website. We got a little time today because Really B says she ain't going live till after 8 o'clock. So hold on. Hold your line. Let's look at this website. Let me make this big. Here's the website, y'all. Do y'all believe this shit? For best viewing results, please turn your mobile phone and refresh the page. If you're on mobile, you know what? Truth becomes clear when the facts come to light. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not. I'll put the website in the chat if you want to visit the website yourself. It's called 36hourslater.com. I don't have this type of energy. I just don't. Hey, Tanya Boo, I've been missing you. Tanya can get a pass, not you, Xavier. I'm not doing this with y'all. They got a whole table of contents over here. Girl. Girl. I can't do this with y'all. I can't do this with y'all. Baby, they don't. Where was all of this energy when y'all were in court? Where was all of this? Baby, it's too late now. Baby, they done went through all of it. They done did more work on this website than they did on Tory Lanez's defense. Okay? Girl, this shit is ongoing. Where was this energy while y'all were putting up a defense during the court, during the hearing, during the court hearing? I'm just saying, you they got text, girl. I just don't have the energy. If y'all want to go on over there and read all of this, be my guest. Go over there. And while you're going, go with God. While you're going over there, go with God. We don't have the energy. We do not have the strength and or energy for none of this fuck shit. Do you hear me? None of it. None of it. We don't. We don't. We don't have the energy. We don't. Do not. We don't have the energy. We don't have the time. If anything belonged as a hashtag, ABC is this.
ABC. A bitch can't. A bitch can't get a hit. A bitch can't get on the charts. A bitch can't get a Grammy. A bitch just can't.
We're not going to make time for him and his fuck shit. Moving on. Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence are now officially in-laws. So Eddie Murphy's son and Martin Lawrence's daughter, Eric Murphy and Jasmine Lawrence, respectively, they officially got married. They eloped. Hmm. Eddie Murphy broke the news during his recent sit down on the Jennifer Hudson show. Hmm. But yeah, they got married and nobody knew. Congratulations to them. We wish them nothing but the best. I wish them nothing but the best. A wonderful marriage. That's all I got. Girl, if this don't belong in Really Bees shit we did not ask for, I don't know what does. Let me read this to you. Sydney Sweeney, famed actor from what's the name of the show? What's the name of the show she on? What's the name of the show, y'all? She's I watched the show. God damn it. Why I can't think of the name of this damn show. Y'all ain't even helping me. I watched the damn show. Euphoria. Thank you, Xavier. Hell, me and Darren was doing reviews. A panel on it. Euphoria. Thank you, crazy homebody girl. Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria wants you to know that she's selling bath water made bar soap made from her bath water. Yeah, she's selling bars of soap made from her bath water. She teamed up with the soap company Dr. Squatch to make 5,000 limited edition bars of, quote, Sydney Sweeney's bathwater bliss, end of quote. It'll be available on Dr. Squatch's website starting June 6th. As per GQ magazine, it smells like Douglas fir trees and moss as a homage to her being from the Pacific Northwest. She has been working with Dr. Squatch for a while, filming ads for the company, calling her horny male fans, quote, dirty little boys, end of quote. It was around then that fans started making gross comments about wanting her bath water. Um, she wasn't aware of tub water's sexual implications, though, when they were making the advances. It's being sold as, quote, men's natural soap. Is there anybody whose bath water you would buy in the form of soap? I want y'all to put that in the chat. Put in the chat whose bath water you would pay for in the form of a bar of soap. First of all, I don't want to bathe in anybody's bath water because if you're first of all, you're a dirty ass fucker if you're taking a bath. Let's be clear. Unless you do like some people do. Now I know some people, and I've done it before, where I take my shower first, then I get out of the shower after I'm clean, wash the shower out, I mean the tub out, and then if I want to, I'll get back in the tub, put my bubble bath in there, and soak in a luxuriating bubble bath. But if you just regularly taking baths like that, baby, we don't want no parts of it. The informed says he wants every part of Aaron Pierre's bath water. You know, I don't really get into Aaron Pierre like that. He don't really do it for me like that. I know the people go up for him, but I don't really see it for him like that. I'm trying to think whose bath water I would want. Hmm. I would have to think about this. Yeah, I would have to think about it. Give me some time. It'll come to me. Now I got a bunch of baby daddies now, let's be clear. Bunch of baby daddies. Now there was a time in my life, I don't know if I would do it now, but there was a time in my life where Lorenz Tate, I probably would have wanted his bath water. Ooh, I probably still quite as kept would take it now. But oh, Jesus God. Oh, I remember. Lorenz Tate could do no wrong for me, honey. Jesus God. Oh my God, that man. Jesus Lord. Ooh, child. He used to do it for me. But I would have to think about that, y'all. Anybody going out and buying this woman's bath water? I mean, it's a novel idea. You know what? I can't even be mad at her. It's an ingenious and novel idea, okay? Who else would have thought about it? I ain't even mad about it. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. Um, not testicle tea. Testicle tea. Ciao. Anyway, in our last story of the day, we got to get out of here, y'all. We've been on here for over 5 minutes. I mean, not 5 minutes, Lord. For over 2 hours and 5 minutes. We got to get out of here, y'all. We got to get out of here. In our last story of the day, Joseline Hernandez, the whole ass whore, she's in the news. So apparently, Jocelyn Hernandez has chimed in, right? So here's what happened. Sexy Red, she recently took a a photo with her mom, right? And apparently the photo, I guess, went viral or whatnot. Because her mom look technically, to me, Sexy Red's mom looks better than her. Let's be clear. Sexy Red's mom looks better than her. So Joseline Hernandez. So Sexy Red was at the AMAs with her mom sitting next to her. Somebody snapped a picture that she posted a picture online. Joseline Hernandez reposted it and put in the caption, quote, "Sexy, tell your moms I have something to tell her. Damn woman." End of quote. Now, while Sexy Red is a walking venereal disease, she has called herself the raw dog queen. I don't know if her mom is not, let's be clear. If her mom is, I mean, if the apple doesn't fall far from the tree and the mom is just as much of a gutter snipe right up out the hood as her daughter, then it would make perfect sense for you to be wrestling in the bed with the likes of dirty ass, skankdacious ass Joseline Hernandez. Because I figure Joseline Hernandez to be a petri dish or a Pandora's box of assorted sexually transmitted diseases herself. So being that you shit it out, being that Sexy Red's mama shitted her out, I can only imagine that she be down for scissoring with the likes of dirty ass Joseline Hernandez. I don't like none of these hoes. None of them. None of them. None of them. Now her mama needed better undergarments. She was sad. Let me see if I can pull a picture up for y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold your line. Let me get the here's the tweet. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this for y'all. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Let me get this for y'all. Hold on. Hold your line. Okay, here it is right here. Chicken, get your chicken here. Uh, uh, um, I mean, her titties is kind of sagging. I mean, I see what you're talking about. It is kind of sagging. Mm. Now, where the hell you been, Ronald? Hey, Karen D. You like to scissor with other bottoms, Xavier? You into scissoring? You into playing around with other bottoms? Maybe y'all get a double-sided dildo or something? You into the lesbian arts and stuff, Xavier? That you about that life? You about the scissoring life, Xavier? You like to get you another slap bottom and y'all can scissor and get double-sided dildos and go to town, Xavier? That's what you like doing? Mm, mm. Anyway, listen, y'all, I ain't got nothing to do with it, okay? I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's the dossier for today, y'all. I gotta go get me something to eat. I'm hungry as hell. I am hungry as hell. Why does that keep doing that? I am hungry as hell, y'all. And anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. If you enjoyed yourself today, put a shondo in the chat. If you enjoyed today's edition of Run Your Mouth, well, we give you the news like nobody else would. Don't do me, Xavier. Do not do me, as I'll be forced to do you harder. I'm just saying. Girl. Girl. Y'all see what I got to deal with Xavier? Not you ill. Not you turn the bottoms into tops. I'm not doing this with you, Xavier. Listen, make sure that you have hit the like button and all of that good stuff. I certainly hope that you enjoyed yourself today. I'm about to get out of here. As I always say, I love y'all. I love all y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. If you want to make a contribution to the channel, there you go right there. You can click that QR code and and make a contribution to the channel. Listen, y'all. Y'all are silly as hell. Silly as hell. I'm about to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can get the really be at Abby to do the tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the Chase and Dallas panel tomorrow. I know Mother on Chase and Dallas said he wanted us to interview him. Yes, we will have Silly Saturday this week. I do not go out of town until Sunday, so we will have Silly Saturday this week. Yes, Miss Baythang. Yes. Ciao. Anyway, I'm about to get out of here, y'all. I thank y'all for coming around here and being around here with me. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Love y'all. I'll see y'all later.